In the early 19th century, the United States was growing rapidly. New territories were being explored, settled, and carved into future states. Yet beneath this outward expansion lay one of the most divisive questions in American history, the question of slavery. Would the institution of slavery be allowed to spread into the new lands of the West, or would it remain confined to the southern states where it already existed? By 1820, this question threatened to tear the young nation apart. At the heart of the crisis was Missouri. In 1819, settlers in the Missouri Territory applied for statehood. But Missouri's request came with a crucial condition. Its people wanted to allow slavery. At the time, the United States was evenly divided, 11 free states in the north and 11 slave states in the south. That balance was more than symbolic. In the Senate, it ensured that neither side could dominate the other on questions involving slavery. Missouri's admission as a slave state would tip that balance in favor of the South, igniting fierce debate in Congress and across the nation. When New York Congressman James Tallmadge introduced an amendment to Missouri's statehood bill that would prohibit the further introduction of slaves. The amendment would gradually free those already enslaved, and Southerners saw this as an attack on their way of life and a violation of states' rights. Northerners, increasingly uneasy with the expansion of slavery, argued that the federal government had the authority and the moral duty to limit its spread. The Tallmadge Amendment passed in the House of Representatives, where northern states held a majority, but it was defeated in the Senate, where the balance between free and slave states held firm. Congress adjourned in deadlock, leaving the question unresolved. The country faced one of its first major sectional crises, a warning sign of conflicts yet to come. When Congress reconvened in 1820, the debate resumed. It was then that Henry Clay of Kentucky, known later as the Great Compromiser, stepped forward with a proposal to preserve the Union. The compromise had three key parts. First, Missouri would be admitted to the Union as a slave state. Second, to maintain the balance of power, the territory of Maine would be admitted as a free state. Finally, to settle the issue of slavery's expansion in the remaining Louisiana Territory, a line would be drawn at latitude 36 degrees, 30 minutes north. North of that line, slavery would be prohibited. South of it, slavery would be permitted. This agreement, known as the Missouri Compromise, passed through Congress and was signed into law by President James Monroe in March 1820. For the moment, the Union was preserved and the balance between free and slave states restored, with the compromise accepted in the South as a necessary concession. In the North, it was viewed as a moral victory for limiting the expansion of slavery and maintaining stability within the Union. Yet beneath the relief of compromise lay uneasy tension. Both sides had merely postponed the deeper conflict. Southerners worried that the growing population and political power of the North would eventually threaten slavery everywhere. Northerners, meanwhile, feared that the influence of slaveholding states would continue to dominate national politics. The Missouri debate had revealed how fragile the Union's unity truly was. In 1821, a final complication arose when Missouri's proposed constitution included a clause that restricted the entry of free black people into the state. Many members of Congress, especially in the North, objected, but once again Henry Clay intervened with a second compromise. It allowed Missouri's admission while requiring that the state's constitution never be interpreted to deny the rights of U.S. citizens. With that final agreement, Missouri officially became the 24th state of the Union, resolving the dispute and restoring balance between North and South. The Missouri Compromise of 1820 succeeded in maintaining peace for a generation, but it did not solve the underlying problem. It merely drew a line, both on the map and in the national conscience. The United States had found a temporary political balance, but the moral and social divisions between North and South would continue to deepen. In time, that line would become a fault line, one that would eventually fracture into the fiery storm of the American Civil War. In the next episode, we'll explore how the divisions revealed by the Missouri Compromise began to shape an entire generation, the rise of sectionalism in America.